Hi guys, how are we all? So Chrissy back with you today, sharing my latest project with the fantastic April kits. So my project today is a 12 by 12 layout. Now the photo that I'm working on is this photo on the right hand side here, and it is a 4 by 6 made up of 4 smaller pictures of me and my son just taking some silly selfies. I wanted to use all of the photos, but obviously I didn't want to do 4 separate spreads, and they're all so similar that I thought I could just use smaller versions of them all, make it one big 4 by 6, and then I've got all 4 of my photos on a layout. So yeah, that's what I'm starting with. So I've just got a plain piece of paper from the kit, and then I love this background paper here, this painted one. I cut into it, which if you've watched my videos you know I really don't like doing. I just hate cutting into pretty 4 by 6, for pretty 12 by 12 pieces of paper, but I'm getting over that fear at the moment. I'm really trying hard to, otherwise they just sit in my stash and they don't get used because I'm hoarding them because they're too pretty. So I'm cutting into it, I have. So I'm starting with some baking paper. Baking paper is my new favorite thing. I use it a lot in junk journals that I make. It's just great for texture. I love it. So I've just scrunched it up because I like the roughness and, you know, a bit of grunge to it. And then I'm going to add some of this awesome color paste in the bling. So it doesn't look the color it dries in the box. In the tub, I mean. In the tub, it doesn't look the color that it's going to be when it dries, if that makes sense. So it looks like a really pastel weird looking color now, but when it dries it's a beautiful gold. So I'm just putting some of that on the edge of the baking paper that I used just to give it a touch of gold, and that was where I was going to stop. And then I thought, I've got it out, why not, let's just keep going. So I decide to make a mat on my background paper with the color paste as well. So I'm going to get my palette knife and I'm just going to smear that straight onto my background page. So this is me stepping out of my comfort zone and cutting into this paper. It is my absolute favourite paper, and I didn't even use it for a background. I've been using it for layers and cards and things, Project Life cards. So very proud of myself, but I really do wish I had another piece of this paper. But anyway, so using this as my background, as a mat for my photo behind that baking paper, and then this is going to be my background. So this is where I decide to add some more of that Color Blast paste to my layout. I felt that I had a bit of gold on it, so I felt that I needed a bit more. Like I had gold on the photo, so now I felt that I needed gold on my layout somewhere else as well. And I figured, why not? So I just use my palette knife and smear it straight onto the background, and as you can see, it goes a bit transparent, which works as well. So it wasn't like a lot of gold in your face, so it looked out of place. It worked really well. I'm not usually a gold person on my layouts unless they're Christmas layouts. I know it sounds terrible, but yeah, so having this paste in the kit has you know, pushed me to use it on my layouts more, which worked really well, and I really like how it looked on this layout. I really love these pictures of me and my monkey, and I love the way the collage turned out. I love being able to have 4 separate photos on the layout, and it looks really good. They just matched up really well, so I was really happy with that. So what I'm doing now is I wanted to add some dimension to the layout, so I've got some of my foam, my craft foam out that I have to hide from Will because he's always stealing it. So I've got some foam, I've mounted my photo on that, and then I decided to add a little more texture and a bit more, you know, well, just a bit of black, just to, you know, bring it more not so feminine with all the pink and the gold. And I love using staples and cotton for texture, so just throwing that in there. So now I'm going to work on embellishing, and sometimes this is probably the hardest part for me, especially when I'm trying to do more masculine layouts or just boyish layouts. You know, obviously if you've watched any of my videos before, this house is ruled by boys. I'm outnumbered 3 to 1, 4 if you include the dog. And I've got 2 sons, husband, 2 nephews, dog. The only females in my family are me and my sisters, and I've been scrapping a lot of photos of the 3 of us lately to try and get some more feminine into my albums. But yeah, so scrapping masculine layouts can sometimes be a challenge with limited supplies. My stash is overrun with masculine things. So, but when I get a kit, sometimes obviously it can be more to the feminine side. Not always, but it's hard to explain. It's not that they're feminine based, but my masculine style is very grungy, very mixed media, very, you know, stars and, you know what I mean? Like very grunge mixed media base. So obviously a lot of these kits and a lot of the collections that are out are more florally, watercolor. Don't get me wrong, I love watercolor, but then trying to embellish these layouts to suit a more masculine page can sometimes be a challenge for me, but it's where the fun is, I suppose. So sometimes it can take me a little longer to get into the swing of things. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going through my kit and pulling out pieces that I think I'm going to be able to use and that I would like to use on this spread. So I've got just this piece of ephemera, just a snippet of today, which is pretty accurate because, you know, that's pretty much what we do. This is what we were doing that day. We actually took lots of selfies on this day. I think it was a rainy day and, you know, we had nothing better to do. And then just throwing in some more of that green, pulling it from that background paper that I've used to mat the photo behind the baking paper. And then lots of wood, because I love wood veneer. So I've got the wood veneer hearts out. I've got an arrow. Now I'm going to work on my title. The title for this is going to be Silly Selfies. Now, I've used both sets of alphas in the kit. So I used the rose gold one. Well, it looks rose gold to me. I'm not sure if it actually is, but yeah. So I use this one and I'm going to write silly, and then I'm going to use the puffy white ones to write selfies. I love those puffy white ones. They've just got such a great feel to them. Have you actually squished them? They're really cool. So this is the way I put my title down. I put my letters on my ruler. Okay, no. First I pull my letters off and stick them on my hand because I hate going back to the piece of paper, to the sheet of letters one at a time. So I pull off all the alphas I need, stick them on my hand, and then I put them on my ruler, and then I flatten them onto my layout. It's the only way I can get it straight, otherwise they're all over the place. So this is my technique. It's not the best. It's probably not even a good one, but it works for me. So adding my title, and yeah, then I'm going to stick down all that wood veneer that I want in my little clusters. And as I'm doing this, I decided that the layout needed another little cluster up the top of my page. So I pull out a few things that I think I can use. I decided to use that awesome washi tape and some more wood veneer, and then just a label, and on the label I end up writing the date. So I was happy with how that worked out. The washi tape was a good little addition because it brought in some more of that black and gold. So yeah, that worked out really well. I did pull through the washi tape to find a phrase that I like. So in the end, I just used the hearts. So I pulled off a little extra washi tape than I needed, just so I could get these hearts down. Of course, I put the hearts and the wood veneer down first and then decide to add the label. So I have to pull the washi tape back up, but I never work back to front, and no, front to back. I never work in a straight line. I'm always all over the place. You should see me do Project Life. That's interesting. But yeah, so basically, even though it's down, I just decide to add the label, and that's where I'm going to put my date. So it's only a small little cluster, but I'm happy with it. It just gave the layout just something a little more. And as I'm looking at it, I realize, you know, it still needs something. So either matting on a 12 by 12 piece or a doodly border. Doodly borders are my favorite. I do them a lot, and I just feel it grounds the layout a bit more. So I just grab my nearest pen. Usually it's my Sharpie pen, my Sharpie fine tip pen, but today I've got another one. Now I've had this for so many years I don't even know where it's come from, but I really wish I had some more because it writes beautifully, so I'm going to have to try and track this down. But it's some kind of rollerball pen, but it works really well. So I'm just going to scribble on a border, and then that's it. Oh no, I have added some more gold by using some colour shine, some Heidi Swap colour shine. So that's my gold splatters. Now I'm going to add my doodly board, and then that's going to be it for this layout. I really like how this turned out, and yeah, I love using these kits to put together 12 by 12 layouts. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will be back real soon with another one. So stick around, check out the channel and see what the other girls on the DT have done with their fabulous kits. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.